Oh my god. Oh my god, neutral. Oh, Jesus. I'll remember how to motorcycle here in a minute. Hello everybody, I'm here with another vlog this week, and I just wanted to make a quick vlog about Pride Month, because in case you don't know, it's June, and that is LGBTQ plus Pride Month. And those of you who are sort of new to my channel probably don't know that I identify as asexual. Maybe you've never heard of that term before, so let me go ahead and explain it for those of you who just are sort of new to that term. Asexual, like the prefix a, usually means not or no. So asexual is somebody who is not sexual, and this means that I don't experience sexual attraction to other people. And so that's just a very quick explanation of what the term means, in case you've never heard of it before. Sort of like when you say something is asymmetrical, you mean it's not symmetrical. Asexual just means not sexual. There's also another use of that term which you're probably more familiar with, which is this the word that I want to do? Yes. You probably have heard it in your biology class in reference to like plants that reproduce asexually. So that's a thing, which means they just reproduce in a way that's not through sexual reproduction. But in reference to people, it means that you don't experience sexual attraction. I've already got another vlog explaining my orientation. I've identified openly this way for probably about 10 years, since I was in my mid-20s. And so this is not, it's not like a phase. It's just I've never felt sexually attracted to people, and I actually didn't really understand that other people did until I realized that other people weren't like me. The utility in having a label for it is basically that it sort of can bring people together around an idea, and it can add visibility, which wasn't there before. When I was a teenager and stuff, like, there wasn't really a term asexual to describe people, and a lack of a sexual orientation. So I kind of just thought, well, eventually I'll be sexually attracted to people. And then the later I got in years, the more I started to think, well, maybe there's something horribly wrong with me that I'm not. And so sexuality was always like this sort of like thing hanging over my head. Like, I was afraid that I was going to I was going to force myself to have sex with somebody because that's what I was supposed to want to do. This person's reading a piece of paper. They're just reading like a sheet of paper while they're driving. So that's why I think there's a utility in having that label there, because it can bring it to light that, hey, there's other people that feel the way that you do, and you don't have to feel like you should pressure yourself to be different than how you are. On the other hand, I think that, like, I actually do not get along with any other asexual people really that I've encountered, and to be honest, I've only really encountered them online. Because I've not met any other asexual people in person, and I don't really get along with them because I think that, like, they're really, really preoccupied with different labels and different semantics and making up new and inventive ways to describe one's sexuality. And to me, there's a utility for it for a little while, but it loses its utility because I think, like, you start confusing people when you start using terms like allosexual and sapiosexual and demisexual, and don't get me wrong, like, if you identify with that, I don't have any problem with you personally identifying that way. What I have a problem with is, like, you expecting other people to know what you're talking about and then acting like they're stupid if they have a hard time with it. I think, like, if you're gonna choose to identify with some really exotic label, and to some people asexual may seem exotic, but I don't expect people to know what it means either. If I say I'm asexual and then somebody looks at me really confused and they're just baffled because they've never thought about it before, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't expect you to really know what I'm talking about. So I guess my problem with asexuals is, like, especially the ones online, is they spend a lot of time online, and they spend a lot of time on, like, Tumblr and stuff, and then they get really mad about people saying stuff online, and I'm like, just get out in the real world where people are much nicer to each other, generally speaking, when there's not that anonymity there, and see how different life seems, because I think they make problems where there aren't problems, and they do try to sort of generate a sense of oppression where there isn't any. I mean, the worst thing that's ever happened to me as a result of me being openly asexual was I had a friend tell me that he understood and that it totally made sense and that he supported me, and then behind my back said that I just needed a good dicking. So basically saying that I needed corrective rape to fix my orientation. And so that was the most hurtful thing that's ever happened to me personally in real life. My sister is straight, and, well, she's kind of straight. I mean, she's pretty straight. She likes the D. I mean, she has bouts of feeling pretty asexual in between relationships, but like when she's in a relationship, she feels pretty straight, but then she kind of has these, like, romantic leanings that are bisexual in nature in a way. So stuff's complicated, I guess, is the point. And I don't know if it's complicated. We'll say it's nuanced. Complicated has sort of a negative connotation, whereas I think nuanced is a better way to describe that. But so it's not necessarily 100%, I would say, genetic. I mean, that's my twin sister, and we have sort of differing sexualities, I think. And so I'm not one of those people that thinks that, like, you need to necessarily say that it's 100% genetic. I don't see the need for it. I think people should just kind of do what they do, and I don't think it matters whether it's genetic or whether there's some kind of fluidity there for them or whatever. I think people should just mind their own business in a way. But as far as, like, the pride parades and stuff go, like, I don't go to pride because this guy's reading, what's he, like, reading a Bible up in his car? What is he looking at? I don't go to pride parades because my understanding of pride parades is that there's a lot of sexuality expressed, and that's fine with me. Like, I don't care about it. I don't think it's wrong. I just am not the kind of person who likes to personally see sexual things, so I don't feel like it's real inclusive for me to go to a pride parade. Although, I think it's great for if you are gay or bi or whatever. Like, I think it's a great expression of openness in a safe area to be that way, hopefully. But being asexual, and again, my asexual experience you shouldn't take this as indicative of the way other asexual people are, because I think everybody experiences their orientation very differently. But me personally, I don't like to see, like, sex scenes in movies or a lot of nudity, really. I'm not really bothered by nudity if it's in a non-sexual context, but if it's sexualized, I kind of feel like that's not for my eyes to see. That's a private thing between the people who are involved. It's not, I wouldn't be the kind of person who would watch pornography or anything like that, because I just feel I don't feel that it's wrong. My brakes are shit anymore. I need to, like, get this shit checked out. Like no brakes up in here. Yeah, I just kind of think, like, that kind of stuff it's just not for me. So that's my sexuality. I'm asexual. I kind of look at it as like a non-sexuality. It doesn't really make sense to call it a sexuality to me, because it's exactly the opposite of a sexuality. It's like the lack of a sexuality. But In any case, that's what it is. And I just want to wish everybody a happy Pride Month, and I hope that you're able to celebrate in safety and with supportive people. Sometimes you do have to choose your family in a way in life. Sometimes you're lucky enough to have a really good one out the gate. But yeah, I just want to wish everybody a happy Pride Month. And I guess if you guys have questions, you can put them in the comments. If you ask them respectfully, I'm usually very happy to answer them. I guess the rule of thumb I would use is if you have a question that you wouldn't want to answer publicly yourself, then it's probably best not to ask it. Because I've had people ask me really, really personal questions and they don't mean anything by it. They just don't really know any better, I guess. With that, I will go ahead and wrap up this vlog and wish you guys a good week and ride safe. And I will check you guys next week.